coming to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And we have some great football today as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you guys for joining us. I see the views are going up pretty quickly. I got my guy Starboy Payne in. If you guys haven't checked it out, Starboy, put the link in the comments again for their Bird Gang Killer video. So the people who are watching can go and check that out as we lead into tonight's big matchup. Got Cleve A. Jones. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Cowboy Zone, or today, I'm sorry. And then we got my guy Mendoza, as always. Thank you for tuning in. We're at 11:20. We try to get you guys out by 11:55 Central Time so that you guys can go get your favorite beverages, sit down in your favorite location, watch a full day of NFL football leading up to the big game tonight with the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. So I see Bird Gang put their YouTube video up again. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel on Bluff City Cowboys, and also make sure you share this video, share it to your personal page, share it to your favorite group, and also click on this link, subscribe to Starboy Payne's channel, and check out the video Bird Gang Killer, because that's going to be our anthem going into tonight's matchup. So I got my guy Lambo coming pretty soon. Hopefully he'll join us before the show ends. But we don't want to hold you guys for too long, so we're going to get right into it, and we'll start off with today's injury report leading into the matchup tonight against the Eagles.
Injury report.
All right, so we got a little bit of news about the Cowboys this week. First of all, we'll start at the top. Dak Prescott has been pretty much doing work after practice, throwing to the receivers. Reports are coming out positive for the most part about how well he's looking, how well he's throwing the ball. And they have him surprisingly listed as questionable, even though there were reports last night. And thank you, Bob Heck, for joining. I always appreciate your support and your comments. There were reports last night saying that he will not start today, but I don't think he was on the inactive list. So there is a possibility that he could enter the game at some point. We also had two pieces of surprising news. Third string running back Rico Dowdle was put on injured reserve with an ankle injury. I'm missing one right here, but also Simi Fehoko is put on IR with the injury. And for you Cowboys fans, you pretty much know what that means. They're trying to find room for somebody else, and this is the game we normally play to make room for people. My guess would be they want to see what they have in Malik Davis, or there may be some type of move being made to bring in somebody else. And then you have the Simi Fehoko move that pretty much directly correlates to James Washington. If you guys remember in the offseason, James Washington was hurt right before preseason started. His injury was projected to be 10 to 12 weeks. And this week, I believe, will put us right around 11 weeks. So expect to be hearing from James Robinson coming up in the near future. And we also got the whole Damone Clark situation where he's on the practice field. So maybe the Rico Dowdle thing could be to make room for him at some point as well. Jason Peters has been out injured the past couple of weeks. He's listed as questionable. This is a big game against his old team. I'd be highly surprised if he's not the starting left guard this week. And also a very surprising add to the injury report on Sunday, CeeDee Lamb was on the injury report with, I believe, a hip injury. And reports are that he is officially questionable for this week's game, but they are saying you can expect both of them to be on the field tonight. Then we go to the Eagles side, and Josh Jobe, one of their backup cornerbacks, appears to be questionable. and also Janarius Robinson, defensive end, I believe from Florida State. He is also placed on injured reserve. Um, Other than that, it looks like the Eagles are gonna be at 100% when they step into tonight's game. Yeah, I thought he was from Florida State, yeah. But it looks like the Eagles are gonna be at 100% for tonight's game. So um they're gonna be bringing their best as they attempt to stay undefeated against the Cowboys in a big NFC East matchup. So guys, let me know if there's something on the injury report that I missed. I tried to go through it. I think that's pretty much it. Outside of Dak not playing, we're pretty much at 100%. And it looks like the Eagles are at 100% getting back their guard and tackle that I believe have missed the past couple of weeks. So it should be a lot of fireworks tonight for Sunday Night Football. All right, guys. I think Lambo will be joining us soon. So before he gets in, let's go to our next segment, and that is our keys to victory for tonight's game. So, guys, get in the comments. Let me know what you think our 3 keys are to winning this matchup against the Eagles.
Keys to victory.
Hey,
Hey, what's going on? Got
So-
Lambo joining us just in time. Repping the Tennessee Orange. Great win yesterday.
yeah.
Did you go to the game?
No, I wish I would have.
I can only imagine what those tickets cost.
Yeah, people was paying like $1,500 and more for like nosebleeds. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
You know, they got their money's worth yesterday. That was a great game.
I'll forever regret not going. I didn't get nosebleed seats like a couple months ago. I thought about getting some. I could have got them for like $170, and I was like, man, that's too much for a ticket. I ain't paying that.
Yeah.
And then we started playing well, and they started going for over 1,000 and stuff. I was like, man, I should have got that ticket.
Yeah, you could have at least flipped it.
They teared the goalpost down the strip and everything. Peyton Manning and Kenny Chesney, everybody was out there hanging out. Like, what the man?
Yeah.
I missed.
Well, all right, Lambo, we're at 11:27. We just went through the injury report. Now we're gonna go to our keys to victory. Since you just came in, I'll give you a minute to get your composure. So I'll go first this time. And everybody in the comments, Terry Rudd, thank you for joining. And Grandizer, thank you for coming back and joining us as well. Appreciate having fans from other teams enter the Cowboy Zone and give us their thoughts and questions. So Mendoza saying run defense, rally, contain, tackle. I mean, we all pretty much have about the same thing. First one, definitely got to contain
Hurts.
the quarterback. Got to contain Hurts. We talked about this Wednesday night. He's racking up a lot of rushing yards. Daniel Jones burned us before. Guys have lanes at quarterback to get some yards against us, so we have to make sure we contain him. I also think we got to have a better game from Cooper Rush. And we've been going back and forth about this for weeks on social media about Cooper Rush is the savior.
Mm-hmm.
The stats aren't lining up with the wins. This is one of those games where the stats have to match up to a winning quarterback for us to win this game because the Eagles are explosive and their defense is legit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be improvement's going to be needed at the quarterback side. Any blemishes, they're going to have to be erased at the quarterback position because it's kind of been hidden by the play of the defense in the solid run game. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Terry Rudd saying pressure on Hurts, limit big plays, establish the run. I definitely agree with those. I also think we have to stop the run. I've talked about this for weeks. For some reason, we have some problems with C-gap running. Nobody's really taking advantage of it other than the Giants. We've seen flashes here and there of teams being successful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Miles Sanders fan, but this is one of those games where a running back like that can get some chunk plays on us because our linebackers just aren't fast enough to meet him in that C gap. Same
Yeah.
thing with Boston Scott and with what's the running back from Memphis name? Kenny Gainwell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those guys are explosive C
Yeah,
gap
they're all
runners.
quick.
Yeah. Now I don't think they're gonna get physical yards, but if they beat us to that C gap, we're gonna be in trouble because then that opens up the bootleg for Jalen Hurts on the backside, and then you got a game running away from you that you can't stop. So I definitely think those C gap runs got to be limited. Got to
Mhm.
stop the run, and quarterback has to step up. I know you probably got the same ones, Lambo. Any other keys to victory you want to add?
Phew. It's probably the same stuff. Contain Hurts, the big
Definitely.
thing. I like what Mendoza said about rallying on
Uh-huh.
defense. Improvement from quarterback play, limit turnovers. Um, I kind of think it's going to be important to obviously establish the run game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be important to spread the ball around as well on offense and try to get those tight ends involved.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And thank you, Grandize. I definitely hope we have a. We've been doing pretty good with penalties for the past couple of weeks, but hoping it's properly officiated. Definitely no injuries and a positive outcome. Appreciate that. And Grandizer, let me know what your team is. I know Payo told us the last time he was here, but honestly, I forgot. So let me know. Yeah, talking about Goddard stopping their best pass option. I'm not concerned about their receivers at all. So Goddard, and honestly, I'm not really concerned about Goddard because I really like J-Ron Curse.
yeah,
I'm concerned about those C gap runs. I think those are what's going to kill us. They'll open it up for the receivers. I don't think the receivers will open it up for themselves.
I'm worried about Hurts scrambling out of the pocket on something like a 3rd and 9 using his legs. That always kills me, man.
Yeah. I see we got Shane Odom joining. Thank you for tuning in. Win on special teams, limit penalties. Yeah, this is going to be a chippy game. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL. Both defenses are legit and physical right now. So it's going to be a lot of chippiness, and the Eagles is just a hostile environment to begin with. Bob Heck, yeah, we don't need any more 25-yard punts. That really, our defense bailed us out on that one last week. Okay, Grandize is a Dolphins fan. Definitely fins up. Got my guy Stephen White in the building. Thank you for joining, Stephen White. All right, you guys gave a lot of great keys to victory this week. Everybody's pretty much along the same lines. Got to contain. Got to stay disciplined. Gotta limit big plays. And then you got to either establish the run or stop the run. I'm shocked nobody talks about Rush though. I don't want to go into the whole Dak Rush thing, but
Yeah,
nobody ever talks about how Cooper Rush hasn't thrown for more than 240 yards in the game.
it's because when the team's winning, it's like everything always goes to the QB.
Right.
When team's losing, it's the QB's fault. When the team's
Right.
winning, it's the QB that's
Yeah.
winning. Like it's like, but in reality, it's the defense that's winning these games.
Yep. This is probably the best offensive line we faced so far this year.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting us to get that. And this is also the most mobile quarterback we faced so far this year. So that's a bad combination. I don't expect our defense to have a bad game, but if there is one to be had, this is the recipe for it.
Yeah.
And again, Grandize, a great point. Is this truly the first test the Eagles will face? The first playoff team from last year the Eagles played. No, they played the Cardinals. They played the Cardinals last week, and the Cardinals made the playoffs, but they barely beat the Cardinals. So I think this is by far the best defense that they'll face so far this year. But it's not really their first test. And that's a good point, Stephen White. Turnovers do matter. But again, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole again because people make it seem like Dak has a turnover every game, and that's not the case. But yeah, we got to get some good games from these guys. We've talked about keys to victory. Now let's go to our next segment, which is our game predictions for this week. So, guys, get your game predictions ready. Let us know what you think the outcome of this game will be.
Game prediction.
All right, guys, get your games predictions ready in the comments. Yeah, again, Stephen White. I don't want to underestimate Rush's impact on the team, but I also don't want to overestimate it. The defense has really been doing a lot to win games. All right, so game predictions, guys. Get your game predictions in the comments. Let us know what you think the outcome of the game will be. Lambo, what do you got this game? While I write down some of the game predictions coming in the comments.
I'm somewhere along the lines of Bob's prediction here. I'm trying to still get my numbers in my head. I like that 23-17. That's a good one. Oh, I'm gonna go 26-23
Okay.
Cowboys.
All right. 26-23.
Oh, Jeff with the convincing win.
Okay.
Okay. Jeff's got 27-14 Dallas.
Okay. You know, I've been going back and forth about this one a lot. I don't think we didn't do a schedule show this year, but I'm trying to stay pretty true to my schedule so far. The Rams have been the only one I've been wrong on. I was right about Tampa, us losing there. I was right about us beating the Bengals. I thought the Rams would beat us, but that was preseason before I got to see how bad their line looked and how awful their receivers are. I've had us losing one game every 4, and this is the one game I had us losing for this next 4 groups. If we lose, it's not the end of the world. We'll be 4-2.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably win about the next 6 games, honestly.
Yeah.
Easily, especially if Dak comes back. So I have this game 23-17 Eagles. But I had to put a caveat in there. I think Rush is going to get a chance to win it. I just got to see if he can do it. If Rush pulls it off, it's 24-23. If not, I think it's 23-17 Dallas. I think it's going to be a heavy field goal game between us and them. And yeah, Jeff saying I think we show her something he hasn't seen before. Terry has 22-16 Philly. So me and him are kind of along the same lines. I got 23-17. Shane, you definitely have been the closest the last 2 weeks. I think you only off by 1 point last week. And the week before that, you may have been off like 2 points.
And I hope you're right and close on this one too.
I know. If we beat them by a touchdown plus, I don't know how our team would be able to leave the stadium. Yeah, I just read your comment, Lambo. Yeah, Stephen White, 21-12. I would love to see that. And Grandize, a 27-26 Cowboys, player of the game, Rush. Yeah, I keep saying this. I just don't see how we get to 25 points with Rush as the starter. Hopefully he proves me wrong one day, but I just don't see him scoring more than 2 touchdowns in the game. All right, guys. Terry saying this needs to be Zeke's best game in order for the Cowboys to win. I definitely agree on that. Man, their front four, those guys are legit.
Let's give it the Pollard on them outside runs.
Yeah.
Use some speed, try to get to the edge.
And that's a good point, Grandizer. The pressure is on the Eagles. They got swept by the Cowboys last year. Yeah, I agree. I think we're playing with house money at this point. Nobody's expected us to win any games after Dak got hurt. We got 4 in the bank, and we have a very easy schedule coming up. Like, I don't think we have a single game in the next 6 of a team to make the playoffs last year. Did Minnesota make the playoffs last year?
For some reason, I want to say no, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
So we don't play a playoff team again until Green Bay, and we've seen how Green Bay looks.
If they will have to rely on their running game against us, probably.
Yeah,
more than like.
Yep. Shane, I don't buy into the Eagles hype either. Definitely not. I think it's going to be a close game. I just think there are certain matchups in this game that could work against us, and
I do have a fear of Hurts exposing our defense for the first time this year.
That's my biggest fear.
Because, like you said, we haven't really matched up with his style of play.
Yeah.
To this point, this season. So, although the defense has been arguably the best in the entire NFL, it's going to be a completely different look this game for them.
Yeah.
It could loosen some things up a little. We'll see.
I would love to be wrong. I say that. Love it.
Yeah.
If you're a gambler,
I'd love to have more speed at linebacker out there.
Yeah, we got it. We just don't use it.
Yeah,
we don't use it with Cox.
We haven't. We just have a big old slug out there in place of him.
Yep. If you're a gambler, this is a great week to bet the line. I think it's 6.5 right now. I don't see any way the Eagles beat us by more than 7. So I think that's easy money. I see Dez is saying he's gonna be smoking the Eagles pack again this week. Spy with Wilson, I think we'll be fine. Terry says I think this is a Gallup game. I could agree with that because of
that's my fantasy favorite. Why y'all gonna ruin my fantasy favorite?
All right, so we're at 11:41. You're right. Dallas does love the primetime games. Let's go to our next segment. You guys have been great with the comments. Let's keep the comments rolling, and let's move on to our bold predictions where you stick your chest out. Give us one of your bold predictions that happens for this week's game. Lambo, since you say they stole your thunder, we'll see if you stick with that one or do you come up with something else.
Bold predictions.
You know, honestly, I got to come up with one too because my bold prediction was based around Gallup.
Oh, well, he wasn't my bold prediction, but he's my fantasy favorite.
Oh, fantasy favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
My bold prediction, Gallup gets 2 touchdowns this week. I think Gallup's that guy.
Bold prediction.
All right, guys, let me know what your bold predictions are in the comments. Granddad is saying Dallas played the Bucs a playoff game this year. They played the Rams and won the Super Bowl. And don't forget, we also played the Bengals, who represented the AFC, and beat them as well. Eagles have yet to play a playoff team from last year. Again, they did play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals did make the playoffs. And that was the only biggest test, and they won it off a last-minute field goal. Mendoza with great stats saying Cowboys have as many INTs as sacks.
So Schultz hasn't had a reception since week 2 against the Bengals, in which he only had 2 that game.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of him, I think Ferguson has had 1 or 2 in that same stretch of games. We've got about 3 tight end receptions in 4 weeks, I believe.
Uh-huh.
My bold prediction is that the tight end group as a whole totals at least 8 receptions and 2 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay. I'm sure Mendoza will be happy for that because the way Hendershot's been playing, if they get 2, he's definitely going to get 1 of those.
I think they want to give the Eagles a look they haven't seen from the Cowboys this season to try to give us an advantage, and we haven't incorporated our tight ends, so this would be the game to do it where they don't have much tape on.
Yeah, and plus their linebackers are awful,
Yeah.
so that helps too. And they got one really good safety, but he is super aggressive and he can be had. And CJ Gardner Johnson. Jeff saying Rush throws for 3 touchdowns. I would love to see that. If that happened, Jeff, and a Cowboys win, you could not watch TV next week.
I know, right?
Yeah. I would
Oh,
love to
man.
see it happen, but you could not watch any sports show next week if that happened. Stephen White saying Turpin make some plays on offense and special teams. Terry Rudd saying Dallas gets 4 defensive sacks. And Shane Odom saying D-Law has 2 strip sacks. Grandad saying if Dallas routs the Eagles will be knocked down and call them not a peg, a whole column. If they lost to us at home without Dak, I could just see them going in some type of just slump. Because this is their Super Bowl, in my opinion. They're finally good. We embarrassed them 2 times last year. They're at home. They've been praised by every media outlet in the country. If they find a way to lose this game, it is going to be ugly for them next week. Stephen White saying take the NFC lead here, 14-3 in the ring. We'll talk about that during the bye week, Stephen White. I'm really feeling good about this team this year. Bob Heck saying Rush 2 touchdowns and Maher 3 field goals. That's pretty much where I'm at. That's my 23 prediction, maybe 24, if they find a way to get 2 touchdowns from the quarterback. Jeff saying the Dak replacement talk begins. It definitely would. I see I got my guy Marlon in the building. Thank you for joining. A diehard Saints fan. Tough break with all the injuries you guys have today. We'll probably talk about your team a little bit once we get the fantasy favorites. I don't know about Lambo, but I think I'll be bringing up a fantasy favorite from that Saints-Bengals game, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And Stephen White saying Dak is number 1, a Rush fan, Jersey and all, but Dak is a Spartan. All right. Hadn't been a lot of bold predictions, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me some more bold predictions before we close this thing out with 11:47. Let me get one more bold prediction before we get out of here. All right, Lambo, but while I wait for that, and we'll give them another few minutes. All right, Terry says Gallup 100. That's pretty much my bold prediction. 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I'll go extremely bold.
What's you got?
Rush is he's gonna be one of those little out routes to the sideline. Rush is gonna throw a pick 6.
Okay.
But flag's gonna come out. Defensive holding. Automatic first down Dallas, and then everybody gonna go,
Yep.
Man, that was close. Now that's bold because that exact thing gonna happen. Then we're gonna be like, wow, that really
Starboy Payne saying bold prediction. Dak comes out in the second half.
That comes out in the second half.
That's
is he dressed? He's not dressing, is he? Is he dressing just in case?
I don't think he's inactive.
That would be something. I mean, it would be smart to have him on the sideline just in case. I know they want to give him extra rest, but if something were to happen to Rush or something, I feel a lot more comfortable with the 85% Dak coming out than Will Greer.
Yeah.
So it's a good thought. He is dressing, Starboy says.
Yeah. Actually, okay. I think we only have 6 inactives this week. We can carry up to 7. We only have 6.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's saying that's diabolical.
Oh, Turpin. What's up, Rob? Out in Michigan.
Oh, yeah. Rob, thank you for joining us.
Side note, we're going to Ball's about to pass you up in them polls, Rob.
Who's Ball?
Rob. Oh, I think he's a Michigan fan.
Oh, okay.
I got a few Michigan fans. I've been saying I think Ball's going to pass him up in the polls.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll see.
I see I got my guy Marlo in the building. Parsons gets a pick 6.
Man, I'm waiting for that day.
I know.
I keep waiting for it. He's not in coverage enough, but it'll happen.
All right, guys, we're 11:49. Like I said, we like to give you guys a few minutes to get settled in. As you can see, we have a lot of people who aren't Cowboys fans who join our comments. And thank you guys for that. We always love a different perspective. But we want to make sure, we want to respect them, give them time to get settled in and watch their favorite games. And we got a lot of football people in here also. We want to get ourselves settled in. So let's really quickly go to our fantasy favorites for this week. And while this goes, pick your fantasy favorite for the Cowboys-Eagles game, and then your fantasy favorite for any game that's being played around the NFL today.
Fantasy favorites.
So our rule of thumb for fantasy favorites is try to pick a player that you think is going to get at least 15 points. So Lambo, in this game, you got anybody particular?
It was funny that, like you said, a player we think is going to give us 15 points. And that one week I said I picked Maher, and people's probably thinking, why do you pick Maher? And he got 15 points exactly.
Yep.
But it's Michael Gallup for me. I feel like Michael Gallup's going to have a really good game. He's my guy for this game. I always like Gabe Davis outside of Dallas. Outside of the Dallas game. Heck yeah.
That's gonna be a great shootout.
But man, actually, outside of this game, my fantasy favorite is going to be Jeff Wilson. He's going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Very shaky defense. They haven't been doing too well in defense. He's rushed for over 70 yards against both Rams and I believe the Broncos, who had a stingy defense. He's the last 4 weeks he's had double-digit points. But I think this is the worst of the defenses he's played over the past 4 weeks. So I think Jeff Wilson is going to go for over 100 yards and a touchdown.
Okay. In this game, and that's a good one, Shane Oldham. That's a kind of a forgotten man. James Bradbury has been playing great this year, but we know he has bad games in him. They got big play Slay. Josh Jobe is their nickel guy. He's hurt, so I don't know who their fourth corner is. It might be Avonte Maddox, if I'm not mistaken. Noah Brown may have some opportunities in that slot on the outside because I think their two starting corners are going to follow.
Yeah.
But even with that, I still like Gallup in this game. This is probably a week where I have more fantasy favorites than I've ever had. It's hard to narrow it down. I just throw a couple out. Saints Bengals. I talked to Lambo about this. Joe Burrow, first game back in New Orleans. Jamar Chase, first game back in New Orleans. New Orleans starting cornerbacks are out. Both of those guys want to come home and show what they can do. So I'm looking for both of them to have a really big game. I mean, anybody Chiefs Bills, fire them up. Doesn't matter. That's going to be high scoring. Another game that may be even more high scoring is Seattle, Arizona. Two awful defenses. A lot of weapons on both sides. And I've been talking about this guy in some of my chats for a while. I got to go with Eno Benjamin. Seattle has been not Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's been getting torched by everybody. I like him, but I love Kenneth Walker more because they're gonna really run the ball down the Cardinals' throats. So Kenneth Walker's my number one fantasy favorite for this week. If you guys have him on your bench,
I have him starting over. Honestly, in one of my other leagues, I actually put him over Zeke.
I would.
So, as a Cowboy fan, that's hard to do, but realistically, I just think Kenneth Walker is going to have a much better game, and just put him out there. So I agree on the Kenneth Walker this week.
Yeah, and I mean DJ Dallas is there, but that's his backfield. I like Justin Jefferson against Miami. That's a good one also. Terry, of course, anybody Chiefs Bills game is gonna light it up. Just like again, Jeff or Gabe Davis. All right, guys. So it's 11:54. You got a few minutes to set your fantasy teams up. Get your favorite beverage. Enjoy a full day of football. Should be some great games on today on the national outlets. No Denver Colts type matchups today. So be sure to enjoy a lot of offensive scoring and a lot of stars. And the Lunatic, thank you for joining us. Great way to cap out the show. Time to shut up the filthy fans.
Yep.
Let's go. So before we get out of here, Lambo, let the people know where they can find you at.
On Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, it's at Cowboys Y'all. And on Instagram, it's Cowboys Y'all 88. Let's go Cowboys.
All right, guys. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Bluff City Cowboys. Find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys. Be sure to join us this Wednesday, hopefully for a Victory Wednesday, as we break down this week's matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles. And we look ahead to next week's matchup against the Detroit Lions. Probably going to be a high-scoring game based off the Lions defense. Also, probably going to be Dak's first game back, so no better game to bring Dak back in than against a team that's giving up 30 points on a weekly basis.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Sparks are going to fly next week, and we're going to talk about it this week on the Cowboy Zone. So be sure to join us this Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. All right. I think that's it for the Cowboy Zone, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Lambo, go ahead. Any last words?
I was just going to take that, say thank you there. And I was also going to say, this is for George. So, George, if you happen to be watching, this is for you.
Rocky Top. George was hurt yesterday. I saw from his post. George is a diehard Bama fan, Bama legend. He's at every game. Private jet if he has to. He's at every game. So hopefully Lambo, you get 2 for 2. You got your Vols last night in the upset. Yeah. Hopefully tonight the Cowboys pull off the upset against the Eagles.
Yeah, let's go. Make a perfect weekend.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for the Cowboy Zone. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
See y'all later.